welcome back to the Only Aki's channel. Hamilton have lost their third game out of 3 so far this season. Hamilton 0, St Mirren 1. Shocking performance, let's just get that off the bat. I'm sure the fans I speak to today will all say the same thing. Joined today, first off, by David. David, what can be said really about that game? You were raging last week. I'm assuming you're just as equally angry this week.
Absolutely gutted. You know me, Ben. I try to be one of the more positive. Try to see the positives in everything. But there's nothing to be positive with. The club can't blame any fans for being negative about that, because there's nothing. Like, I would love to heal. There's nothing. I just get so lined up. There's nothing positive to take for that at all.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And we'll start off with the lineup. When it was first announced, what were your opinions? A few changes, obviously. Lee Hodson gets his debut. David Templeton comes in and plays for Callum Smith. What did you make of it when you first saw it?
Strange one. I mean, I've seen a tweet from somebody. I can't remember who it was, so sorry if I can't remember their name. But it mentioned about the amount of, over the years, how we just play so many players out of position.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm out when you see Andy Winters playing on the left hand side, he's not a winger. He shouldn't, in my opinion, he's not ready to be starting this. That's him starting every game this season. He's not a bad player, but he's not influential enough to be starting. Mm-hmm. Ross Callaghan and Scott Martin in the middle, they're good players, but they're the same player.
Yeah. So
they don't. We need someone to do one job and one to do the other. They were just leaving the back four completely open. Adolphin, he's not a centre half. Granted, to the boy, he did okay in the second half, but St Mirren didn't challenge us in the second half.
Yeah.
I texted you during the game. The only thing I would say is Lee Hodson looks like he's got a bit more quality about him, and what you mentioned is he sticks out like a sore thumb in comparison to what's around him.
Yeah.
Make him look like a much better player than he is. But the lineup it's just, we can't keep playing bingo. I mean, like you say, I try to be positive, so the common sense in my head, you got to take into consideration we've not had a pre-season, we've not had proper games, but neither's anybody else around us, and they're picking up points. St Mirren gets 6, County gets 7.
Yep.
We're starting to fall away already.
We're I absolutely agree, far behind the pace. You mentioned obviously the second half. We have to say it is a much better performance the second half. We created a lot more chances, but even at that,
I don't go for that pick at all. Yes, it was a better second half performance, but there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
I mean, why on earth are you going a full 45 minutes without threatening at all? So it's better the second half, but there's no fucking way you should be going 45 minutes without challenging. David Templeton was so far off it. Like we all said when he announced his contract extension, we're going to rely so heavy on him. We can't afford to.
Yep.
It's a team game. We need better than that. He didn't threaten at all. He didn't dictate anything. Lewis Smith, again, a huge fan of him. But he was like a headless chicken the day. Couldn't put a pass together. The second half, there's no excuse for the second half. You shouldn't have to wait to half time and get a birdie arse. I just don't get that. We should be putting in the effort for 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Does that mean can we get away with getting half our money back for that first half thing? There's like I said last week, there's no sugarcoating it at all. There's nothing to be positive around. Like I say, you can't say that fans are being negative because there is nothing good to say about that. Like I say, the fact that they came out the second half so well is just a kick in the teeth. What a waste of time the first half was. It wasn't a good goal to concede. Ryan Fulton didn't do too bad. A couple of big good saves. I think he's still in his place this week, but there's nothing positive to take for this at all. The scary thing for me is the pre-match interview when Brian Rice is saying he's happy with his squad.
Mate,
I get with numbers we can only take on so many, but you can't talk pish.
No.
You can't possibly be 0 points from 9 and say you're happy with your squad. We've got an abundance of players. Granted, the financial situation, things like that, but we're nowhere good enough just now.
Yeah. So that was David who also runs Only Aki's with me, giving his honest opinion. We're also joined by Stuart Latimer, who is a lifelong Hamilton fan, to give his live reactions to the game.
My honest reaction is, I thought we were terrible in the first half. Today's the first time I've seen any sort of promise for Andy Winter. I thought in the second half he was good. I thought he helped create a few chances. It was also helped with Justin Johnson coming on. I thought he looked quite promising, but I was worried that he might not have a position. He's sort of a guy that will float about. So how do we slot him into like a starting lineup? I thought the performance was a lot better when Moyle came off. Now, I know a lot of people like Moyle, but when he came off, Augie is much more of a presence. I was also happy to see no mistakes from Fulton, even though he wasn't put under much pressure. I thought, see the last 2 weeks, I thought the defence have looked fairly comfortable. Although it's no ideal, we've got guys like Hodgson, Fjortoft, guys who probably wouldn't be our ideal first choice, but they're slotting in, they're doing fine. My worry's going forward, even with temps here, we didn't look like we're going to create much.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. If you were to compare the first half performance and the second half performance, what do you think changed in that second half that made us perform better? Do you think it was a bollocking from Brian Rice, or did you see any tactical changes that maybe stood out for you?
I'll be honest, Ben, I don't think Brian Rice is capable of a bollocking.
Okay.
I think our squad's that poor. Brian Rice is trying to fit square pegs into round holes. If you ask any Aki's fan a starting 11, nobody knows any idea what a first choice starting 11 would be. So how the manager's supposed to know that? I know it's his job, but it's very difficult to pick a starting 11 out of the squad that we currently have. Obviously, first choice guys would be like Thames. I think Sean once made one of the centre half positions his own. Scott McMahon with the left back, but trying to pick a starting 11 out of the squad we have, it's a bang average squad. As I said, when Johnson came on, I was impressed with him, but again in a starting 11, where do you fit him in? It's I don't know. I'm very worried. I've got to admit, 2 weeks in a row, our team scored and they've sort of defended, knowing that we won't score. Now, we were better today than we were against Ross County, but did we really feel we would score? I didn't think so.
And obviously, it doesn't get any easier. Next week we've got the derby away to Motherwell. Are you confident at all going into that game? How do you think that one's going to go when you look at the last three?
Well, obviously derby games are unpredictable, but I don't see where we're getting any points at the moment, and that's the honest truth. Now, I don't blame the manager for that. I don't necessarily blame the players. I think the recruitment's been terrible. We've not got a game changer there. We've not got a guy who'll take the game by the scruff of the neck and potentially get us points. One thing I would say, Ben, I don't know if you've thought it, but Scott Martin appears to have a lot more added responsibility this season, and so far he's not really shown anything for it. He's been very poor in the first few games now.
Yeah, what I was talking to other fans about was the partnership with Martin and Callahan, and one fan pointed out that they're very similar players in terms of what they do, and where the partnership of Gogic and Martin last season worked was because Gogic would sit
definitely. It complemented each other well. Yeah, you probably got a fair point there. And Gogic, who we thought wouldn't get a game at Hibs, is kind of worked into the team. So you probably got a fair point. So Callahan again, he's another guy in flashes that's shown like he could potentially offer something, but we need a full 90 minutes out of these guys. See if we went. It's a difficult one, because see if we went to Fir Park next week and defended deep and come away with a draw. Normally that would be pretty acceptable, but 1 point out of 12, it's not going to cut it.
No.
Considering we play Rangers the following week, see, we went into the Ross County game last week. Now, Ross County at home is a game we want to win, but see if we got a draw in that game, it would have took a lot of pressure off because we're off 0. But now we're chasing points and we don't really look like getting them. We're at Motherwell next week. Let's be honest, it's over the years we've won games there, we've lost games there, but could any of us really say we're confident in going there getting a result?
Yeah.
Could you speak to three different guys and they'll all come up with the same team? It's all a guessing game, and I think it's a guessing game from the manager's point of view as well. So I wouldn't be confident in getting anything, but stranger things have happened, put it that way.
Thank you all very much for watching the Only Aki's channel. Of course, it's been a disappointing first 3 games, but we are looking ahead to the derby next week, the Lanarkshire derby against Motherwell. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to watch the game, so there won't be any fan interviews, but of course, if you go to our Twitter and our Instagram, David will be live tweeting the game as always, so get your opinions out over there. I just unfortunately won't be able to speak to me after the game. On today's performance, everything the fans said I've absolutely agreed with. Shocking performance first half, better second half, but again, not great at all. As many fans have said online and in our videos, we're already chasing points 3 games in. It's not good enough. We need signings, we need players back from injury. We need to improve all over the pitch. Very few players got pass marks for me today at all, to be honest. Justin Johnson is probably who I would give my man of the match. He came on at 55 minutes, so got most of the second half, 35 minutes, but he stood out of a bad bunch. I thought Templeton was poor today. Lewis Smith obviously came off early second half. Marius Ogumpo still looks unfit. I saw a man of the match was given to Hakeem Adolphin. I don't necessarily think he had a terrible game, but nowhere near man of the match for me. Not good at all over the pitch from start to finish, and it's incredibly worrying. It looks as if this is the season. I hate to say it so early, and obviously I'm going to try and be as positive as I can, but we have to be honest, and as David said, there's no sugarcoating this whatsoever. This could be the season, but who cares? Let's prove them wrong, and let's get back on top again. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe so you don't miss any Only Aki's content. We'll have a podcast coming this week to discuss the first 3 games, and of course looking ahead to the derby. That's incredibly worrying. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well to not miss any content. Be sure to comment down below what you thought of the performance and speak to us over on social media. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you again soon.